All right, so welcome everyone to Automation Study Group. My name is Claudia Ferguson. I'm a senior consultant with Microsoft. I'm helping customers to move to Microsoft Azure. And today I'm going to talk about Azure DevOps test plans. So why Azure DevOps? And what are the benefits of using Azure DevOps test plans? I'm going to share with you how our process of how you can reuse the test plans for different different DevOps organizations. I'm also going to talk about, show you how to customize your test plans to match your customer requirements. Additionally, I'll show you how to run the test plans, display the results on a dashboard, record issues and bugs. And lastly, we have Mike Levin, who's going to show you how you can even automate some of the steps using Azure pipelines. So why Azure DevOps and what are the benefits? So I'm going to tell you how we used to do it in the past. We used to have this very big Excel file with all of the test cases with details, every step by step, that when we have a new person, they can follow the test plans and do the testing. So the issue with that is that when they had to rerun the test multiple times, or they had to run the new test for each different configuration. For example, they have Windows 10, Windows 7, Windows 8.1. They have to do copy and paste multiple times for each new test run, for each new configuration, right? Then another issue was that there's no edit history for maintaining those one Excel file. You cannot see who changed what and when. And so it's hard to manage. Another thing is that when you copy and paste, it's obviously very hard to track the issues, record them centrally. There's no monitoring or tracking in Excel. Now, all of the great benefits that come with Azure DevOps test plans. So you can, for management, you can see the history, who added what and when, not only for test cases, but for each shared step. You can also lock the permissions. So let's say you have a template and you can only give few people to edit the template with shared step. And then you create a new project with import the test cases, and you can give permissions to modify test cases for those consultants who own that project. But you can lock down the permissions. Another great thing is that when you need to rerun the test case multiple times, or you need to rerun the test case for different configurations, Windows 10, Windows 8, there's no more copy and paste. You can just assign a new configuration and test cases will automatically be duplicated for you for each configuration. And obviously, recording issues, bugs, it's so much easier. You can view the history. You can see them centrally in one place. And like we had 5 people doing testing, and then you have all of this information centrally. So instead of me reaching out to, let's say, Stephanie and saying where you are, what are you doing, I can just look at DevOps and see, oh, she's doing step number 5, testing Internet Explorer. And also project manager, we would do expert. We would put on a dashboard the results from a test plan, and he could see live view of where we are right now. So all of these benefits, and as well as once you have all of the data in Azure DevOps, there's so much you can do. You can use it, analyze it, track other items, etc. So I'm going to do a Azure DevOps demo now. Yep. So one thing you need to do is to set up your new DevOps organization. If you don't, you can create a new one. It's free, up to 5 users, I believe. If you already have one, then you now it's depending on your customer requirements, of course. So for example, for us, we decided for us it would be best to have one Azure DevOps, and then you create new project for each customer. And then we would have a template in one project and we would reuse them, copy to the new project. But we also, if let's say we had a customer that they wanted to have the testing, they wanted to see what we're testing and what are the steps. So we actually exported and imported into their DevOps environment. So it's your requirement depending on your customer how you want to do it. If you wanted to set up a new DevOps orgs, or if you want to set for your team and have everything in your DevOps. So I'm going to show you what process we're using. All right. So the first thing if you want to do, once you create your organization DevOps, you have a project template. That's where you're going to have all of the test cases and shared steps. When you click the test plans, you see all of the test cases I have and steps inside them. Now, I documented, I'm not going to take you how to do the import and reuse those test cases, how to do import export into a new DevOps organization. I documented the steps and I'm going to share with you. So this has been already done here. So I already imported the shared steps test cases. And like I said, you can use my blog to do that. Now, another thing, prerequisite for the test cases and share step, you need to have a test plan first. So, and then a test plan and a test suite. And then in the test suite, you're going to have those test cases. So the first thing you want to do, and you can create the test plan before you did the import or after. So it doesn't matter. So the first thing you want to do is create a new project. It's going to take a few seconds. Once you create the project, you follow the process that I have to import the test cases and shared steps. And once you import them, they're all going to be listed under the work items. Now, I don't have anything now. This is brand new. I didn't do anything. So even if you import it, you have to first create a test plan. So you click on the test plans, click all in new test plan. So once you create test plans, all you're going to do is instead of new test cases, add existing test cases, and then you're going to run a query. And after you follow the steps in my article, you're going to see all of the steps and you're going to click and import them. And you're going to have all of the test cases here. So let me go back to where I already imported this. So once you have all of the test steps here, so another thing is a test suite. So test suite, it would be good. We used it for testing different domains. Let's say domain A would be test suite 1, domain 2 would be test suite 2, right? And you can easily, once you have a template, you can easily import test suite. And you would have a template over here and it would just, make a copy of the test suite and you would just rename to domain B. So we had like 20 domains and we would, copy and paste and run the test for each domains and track the results for each domain. All right, so the next thing, once you have all of the test cases and shared steps, and you can see the shared steps are here inside, I'm going to explain the difference between shared steps in a little bit. the first thing you want to do is assign configuration. So configuration is Windows 10, Windows 7 browser, that would be different configuration. So you can add the configuration here. And save it. Now you have another configuration. So now that you create a new configuration, you need to go and apply this configuration. Now on the Execute tab, you see right now we have those configuration, and you can apply configuration to the entire suite. Right now you see Windows 10, Windows 7. Let's say we only need Windows 10, right? So now you see we only have 6 test cases for Windows 10. If we want to, if we need to apply all of those 3, we can check those. And now we have automatically test cases created for all those configurations. Now we can also individually apply configuration. So let's say this test case, we only need to test this on a Windows 10. So I'm going to explain the difference between those tabs, but you have to go into Define tab and Assign Configuration. Uncheck this. If you click here, for this test case, you only have Windows 10 configurations. So let me explain you a difference between those 2 tabs. So on the Execute tab, it's where you do all of your testing. So when you have to run the test, mark the outcome of the test, view execution history, assign a tester, view test result. This is like your test lab. On the Define tab, think of it as a planning. You can add the test cases here, change the name, add test cases. If you click on the test case, you have shared steps here, and then you can add the shared steps or regular steps. So so we have here shared steps. That's what we use, because for shared step, you can reuse shared step for multiple test cases. And it's very convenient to reuse them versus, so if you, let's say, create the regular steps here, test 1, test 2, then for each new test case, when you create from a scratch, you would have to type them again. Versus shared step, all you have to do, you can create the shared step directly from here. Just click this plus button, create shared step, put the name, and then open. Here you can insert the shared step, new shared step you created. Here you can add the step 1, step 2, save it. You can insert the shared step. So here you can, from this screen, you can create shared step, and then here you can just insert the shared step. Okay, so once you modify the test cases to fit your customer requirements, then I'll show you how you execute the test cases. So you click on this Execute tab and run for web application. I like this option. It doesn't require any client. It works on Chrome or Edge. And so once you on this test screen, you can just pass or fail the test. Yep. And you can pass, you can fail, You can put the comment in here. And we recommend if you, let's say, fail the test, if you have an issue, you can create a bug right from here. You save the bug. If, let's say, you have multiple tests with the same issue, instead of creating multiple same bugs, you can add to the existing bug. You can just search. See, you can add to the existing bug. And when you do reporting, you can still see that all of those test cases failing for this issue, right? And for people that, let's say, very quick and already very experienced, and you feel that, oh, it's too much going to each step and marking them as completed, you can just mark an overall test as pass or failed from here quickly. You can also pause the test. Let's say you want to go grab a cup of coffee, so you don't want your test to reset and start over. You can pause the test. And then you resume the test. And you can continue where you left off. Another great thing that we recommend is when you do testing, you can add comment here and put, let's say, computer name or the username that you were testing with. You can also add images, video, and save. And lastly, to review your results, you can click here and see View Test Results. And here you go, all of the test results. You can also add them afterwards. Update analysis, add attachment. You can also see the history, obviously. And once you finish the testing, you can go to the dashboard and display the results on the dashboard. You would have to first create a query though, and then you can easily add this. You can even have what we did here, we have a chart for test plans. And then you can configure this chart however you want to display the test results. We would have, we configured it to display results for different domains. So the project manager can have a view of all of the test results for every single domain. You can choose different options here, test results, select the test plan. I would use pivot table, say outcome, columns, so let's say configuration. You can play with it. So here how you set the dashboard. All right, so any questions do you have for test plans?
So how to engage that the other assignment task items? Like we could integrate that other assignment task items to here, right?
You can sorry, do what?
Like another project bugs are like we can integrate it here, right? Suppose this is only for this. Suppose for example, one bug is associated with a multiple test cases. Yes, we can create a one bug. As well, if suppose the similar kind of behavior with other assignments, the other projects, I want to engage these task items to here. Is there any provision?
Oh yeah, you can absolutely add tasks over here on the work items. Yes. And you can do the queries to query issues into multiple projects. So if you go to boards and queries, right? You can run a query, let's say, assigned to me. You can modify the query and you can adjust the query to query not only this project, all of the issues. You have to play with the query, right? Obviously, you have to.
Yes, we have to play
Yes.
around with the
And
query.
then you can, once you get the query, you can put the results and see the issues. Work item. You see, this is the bug I created, but you can filter on those.
I see. Thank you,
And then
Claudia.
if you click on the bug, you can see that this bug is linked to this test case.
Yes. Yeah, got it. Thank you.
All right, so that was a quick demo of test plans, how you can use them, and I will share with you the link on how to import and export, to different Azure DevOps or between projects. So I'm gonna give the floor to Mike Leven. Mike, are you here?